Phil Mitchell is finally back in Walford, but this return isn't the celebration fans were hoping for. The moment he steps foot on the square, he's hit with devastating news. His old friend Nigel Bates has been in a serious car accident. And what makes it worse, Nigel might be heading straight for prison. From the second Phil hears about it, he's furious. His temper flares, not just out of shock, but guilt. He blames Julie, convinced that if he'd been around, none of this would have happened. But Phil's about to realize this mess runs much deeper than he ever imagined. It all started with what should have been a simple drive. Nigel took his car out for one last spin before selling it, just one final moment behind the wheel. But one phone call changed everything. In a split second of distraction, Nigel lost control, crashing straight into Jasmine and Gina as they were heading out of the Albert. The chaos that followed was heartbreaking. Julie, desperate to protect the man she loves, made a split-second decision that would turn everything upside down. She told the police she was the one driving, hoping to save Nigel from facing the consequences. But guilt has a way of catching up fast. Nigel couldn't let her take the fall. In a moment of painful honesty, he walked into the station and confessed the truth himself. When Phil hears about it all, his anger reaches boiling point. He storms into the situation, calling out everyone involved, lashing out before fully understanding what's really going on. But as he talks to Jack, who'd been by Nigel's side when he confessed, the reality starts to hit him hard. Jack reminds him that Julie's heart was in the right place. She wasn't trying to deceive anyone. She was trying to protect the man she loves. That's when the guilt kicks in. Phil realizes his anger was misplaced. In typical Phil Mitchell fashion, he doesn't waste time sulking, he switches straight into action. He makes one phone call to Ritchie, the only person in Walford who might actually pull off the impossible. Ritchie has a reputation for getting people out of impossible situations, but even she knows this one's going to test her. With Nigel's medical condition complicating everything, the case isn't just about a crash anymore. It's about whether Nigel should have been driving at all. His dementia symptoms have been getting worse, and suddenly the question isn't just about guilt. It's about responsibility, about whether Nigel even understood what was happening that day. As the legal wheels start turning, Nigel's world begins to fall apart. The weight of what he's done and what might happen next starts to sink in. For the first time, he begins to wonder if maybe he deserves whatever's coming. The thought of prison terrifies him, but so does the guilt of hurting innocent people. Julie stays by his side through it all, trying to hold things together as Phil and Ritchie do everything they can behind the scenes. They take Nigel in for a medical assessment, knowing that the results could make or break his case. If the doctors confirm how far his condition has progressed, it might just change everything. It could be the one thing that saves him, or the final piece of evidence that seals his fate. Back at home, the tension is unbearable. Everyone's waiting for answers. Phil keeps himself busy, refusing to admit how much the situation is eating away at him. He's always been the tough guy, the fixer, the one who can solve anything. But this time, even he knows it's out of his hands. And as new spoilers from the BBC reveal, Nigel is waiting for his verdict. That one final moment that will decide everything: his freedom, his future, and whether he'll ever get another chance to make things right. For now, Walford holds its breath. Nigel's family is torn between hope and fear, while Phil stands quietly in the background, ready to do whatever it takes if things go south. But one question still lingers. If the truth sets him free, can he really live with it? Because sometimes in Walford, the hardest battles aren't fought in court, they're fought in the